Situation. Jordan Spieth at 17, he's got 2-shot lead. Remember, Matt Kuchar's hit in there pretty close for birdie, and Jordan has to do the old backup thing. He didn't get grumpy, he didn't get upset. Then he stands up, Travis, and he plays this beauty.
A little two-hop skipper that he puts the brakes on right there. He is so good at that shot. It's fun to watch that shot, how it puts the brakes on.
And so many folks from 52 yards are so bad. Admit it. You get a 52-yard shot. I know you're watching home. You're, oh, no, how am I going to play that, especially if it's a little soft or really firm like what they were dealing with, or what Jordan was dealing with yesterday. So we are getting into the anatomy of Jordan Spieth's golf game. We've already taken a look at the iron play. Now we're going to look at this wedge game, that 40, 50-yard range. Travis, break it down for us.
Well, we talked about Spieth's putting a lot, and we're going to get to that later in the show. But I think it's really the wedge work, 40 yards on in, that's even better than the work that we see with his flat stick. He is so good with his wedges. And that little two-hop skipper, right? We got the people's attention at home now.
No, we did.
How do we get that shot? Well, when you look at this, couple things. He likes to play the ball back. He's aggressive with this shot. You have to be aggressive if you're going to get this kind of spin on the golf ball. He'll play the ball back in his stance, pretty narrow, you can see. Look at his shoulders. See how his shoulders are very level? His side bend to the right that we'll see in the full swing has now leveled out, right? It's more straight up and down. That gets his sternum more on top of the ball, or maybe even a little in front of the ball. Now, from here, as he takes it back, it's really a little bit like Jason Day, Charlie, in that it's not a real abrupt wrist hinge. It's pretty wide out away from him. You can see the left arm's got good structure to it, but it's not certainly like this big right angle, right? Severe angle between the left arm and the shaft. You can see how the club's kind of hanging out over there. There is some wrist hinge, but it has some width out away from him as well. It's not too narrow in here. I think that's important. Now, from here, watch when he starts down. Remember when I talked about the space in his knees? On the downswing, check this out. Even on this shot, look at that, right? The pelvis, the hips stay right underneath him. You can see how the space stays the same there. And then as he comes down into impact, he can keep his sternum right there on top of the golf ball. A lot is made about his little left elbow chicken wing. For me, you know, when the left elbow pulls away like this with Jordan, it's because the left shoulder hasn't pulled completely out of the way. You'll see a lot of players, the left shoulder's higher, and that'll lengthen out the left arm. Jordan keeps the left shoulder lower. The left elbow will pull away a bit to kind of decompress that attack angle, a bit of an idiosyncrasy through impact. And then, of course, watch here. He'll just continue to turn and just keep the handle working to the left.
I watched the logo on his hat.
Yeah.
It never moved.
I know it.
It absolutely never moved. Okay, let's hit a couple.
Yeah.
And one of the things you said that sort of tweaked my interest, you said he's aggressive. That's one of the things that great wedge players have in common. You never see a wedge player that looks lazy or tentative. They're always aggressive.
Yep. And that's what I was doing right there. I was really trying to turn and keep the handle going left. Right? I didn't come in here and just lean on it and let the club fall. So when you look at Jordan, the ball kind of gets back in the stance a little bit, feet close together, and you can see my shoulders pretty level. Not a big fan of a lot of side bend on these shots. You want to stay pretty level. Then he's out here nice and wide, but kind of interesting, coming down, a little bit of space in here, right? You didn't see a lot of drive in the legs lateral this way, and that's what gets the spine hanging back like this. You don't want that. So a little space, and then from there, just keep turning and let the handle work to the left. So here we go, ball back. Just keep turning and work the handle over to the left. And I caught that very clean because, to your point, my sternum and my head stayed right there. But a lot of that, Charlie, has a lot to do with where your hips are. You can't be driving lateral so much. I just think Jordan Spieth does it so well in his full swing and so well on those little wedge shots into the greens.
Maintain that space. That keeps the spine angle up and down. Be aggressive, and you'll get better sound, better contact, better distance control.
I like it, big timer.
Everything works.